Hello, 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 and welcome to Emotional Response. This is Life Coaching with Ink. Ivory, hello out there. Welcome back to part 2 of Am I Dateable? And I want to start this year by covering this topic mainly because people are aspiring to be different than what they are last year. So if you have any toxic relationships, toxic habits, toxic words that you tend to slew at people, toxic behavior, it's time to clean house and really become not only prepared for what you want, but be exactly what you want. Laws of attraction is real, and they don't work the way people systematically think they work. Laws of attraction work according to the frequency that you're on, and it begins in your thoughts, and your thoughts are empowered by your emotions, and that gotta go hand in hand. And before it reaches out into the external, those two things got to be in agreement. They really do. You can't think one thing and feel another thing. It's kind of like you balance it out to be a zero, basically. It doesn't clear. I know I was looking for another word, but the word is cancel. You cancel that very thought by bringing up emotions that don't coincide with what you're thinking. And so that's how laws of attraction work. And so this 2019 year, in order for you to be dateable, be in a loving relationship, you have to be a loving person. And like I said in part 1, actually spending time with yourself and knowing you and knowing what's going on with you. And the more you know you and what's going on with you, you tend to enjoy being with you a little more. And the more you enjoy being with yourself, you can become available to be with someone else. It's very key, very key. It's so many things that come up under Am I Dateable that has to be covered. I'm not quite sure if this is going to stay at a part 2 and leave it there, but I want to cover some other things that go under Am I Dateable. One thing for certain when it comes to being dateable is being well acquainted with reality. And I want to talk about being delusional. Being delusional. Delusional will have you thinking one thing about life when something else is going on. And I want to talk about that mainly because people are moving around with preconceived ideas of what life should be when they can just embrace what life really is and then move forward. Delusional is very scary, very dangerous, very self-inflicting. It's a self-inflicted pain that goes on when you're delusional. And it only hurts everybody around you. You have to be present in reality. You have to be well acquainted with what your emotions are and what other people's emotions are. And one of the main things that will keep you out of being delusional is assuming or reading into things a little more than they need to be. Because it's one thing to think something, but to hold on to it and make it a theory or a concept in your head and then put emotions behind it to intensify that thought, that's a totally different thing. And it's something that carries a thin line between being sane and insane. Because you can lose your mind. That's why some people are very reactive. Some people are very detached from just being socially connected with other people because of something that they have created in their mind. And the reason why I bring up delusion is because you want to make sure you know what you're getting into when it comes to dating. You don't want to move about making things more than what they are. Neither do you want to lead other people on. Let's bring clarity to the dating realm. If you're going out with someone, spending time with them, talking to them, and there's no title involved, and you see the person with another person, don't mentally convince yourself that that person supposed to be exclusively with you and y'all didn't talk about it. And so while they out with the other person, you assume the role of girlfriend and take on an aggression that is abnormal. You excuse yourself in between the two of them. You begin to make your presence known vocally and physically. And the guy in return or the girl in return turns to you and says, "What's going on?" And you look at them and you say, "I thought." If you start a sentence with "I thought," you need to do some introspection. Because if someone is confused about what is going on with a situation or circumstance, and your rebuttal is "I thought," right there is where the problem is. There's reality and there's thoughts. There's reality and there's thoughts. Can thoughts go parallel with reality? Sure. But that takes being emotionally well. Unresolved issues, holding on to people longer than what they are, they're clearly your ex. They've been your ex for X amount of years. But because of a high or a friendly text, you confuse reality and you blur the lines into your fantasy world, thinking that a mere text or a look is more than what it is. And to the average person listening to me, they might think, "Oh, she's talking about things everyone should know." And you're right, everyone should know. But it doesn't hurt to have a brusher course a brusher course. Or some people are so far gone in their thoughts and in their fantasies that they need to be brought back. Brought back. Because if confusion is going on and your first rebuttal is, I thought, that's where this problem starts. And the person is confused about your actions or your words, that's where the problem starts. You don't make things more than what they are. A good morning text is just that, a good morning text. Now, on the flip side, men and sometimes women need to understand what the dating realm is so that you don't blur the lines and confuse people and have people thinking things are more than what they are. A good morning text can be periodically, but you gotta be very careful on how consistent you are, because you could be communicating one thing and saying another. You could say, I'm not ready for a relationship. I just want to have fun and enjoy myself. But then at the same time, you texting every morning a good morning text to that person. And that person wakes up seeing your response. So next thing you know, they wake up every morning thinking of you. Is that normal? Yes. In your mind, well, it's just a text. Well, let's take other people into consideration. Your emotions is one thing. Another person's emotions is something else. It comes with so many different things. Their worldview, their upbringing, their experiences, all spun up into connecting with you. And so their sensitivity towards something could be a little more. And so you have to be mindful. And then you also, when it comes to being delusional, you also have to pick up red flags when people, you can't save them. Let me say that again. You can't save them. You can't make them right. And they're taking things a little too far by the gentle gestures that you leave in y'all social connection. A good morning text to you is something minor, just to stay connected with the person periodically. The person flips out the next day because they don't receive a good morning text. You say, I'm confused. This is not a relationship. And they think, well, I thought because you text yesterday, you was going to text today. According to who? So let's talk about this. Let's have an understanding. So we're clear on it. And so when you bring clarity to the situation and you say, no, it was just a text and I didn't think I had to text the next day because it's not we like we're in a relationship. And then the person's rebuttal is, why wouldn't we be? And your rebuttal is, I'm not ready for it. And then their rebuttal is, but I thought we was talking. And so, red flags. You are responsible for yourself when you see red flags. If she's making things more than what they are, even after you give clarity, if he's making things more than what they are, even after you get clarity, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to right then and there and say exactly how things are.